It is just pork barrel spending from the beginning to the end. Now, you talk about trick bookkeeping. You want to hear this? They take taxes out. They bill you for it now for a number of years, 4, 5, 6 years, and there's no increase in health care. And then 6 to 7, 8 years later, they actually increase the health care spending, but not now. So you pay taxes for it now, and you don't get it for 6 years. That's very creative bookkeeping, isn't it? I don't think St. Joseph did that, Nancy. I don't think St. Joseph did that. I think Bernie Madoff's accountant figured that one out. Tax the people now, don't increase the health care now, and increase it 6 years from now. That's a Bernie Madoff scam. Bernie Madoff went to jail for pulling a scam like that. I can give you 3 examples of people who were in prison for that kind of scam. Let's say you put money into an investment, and the guy actually doesn't put your money into the investment, but he takes the next investor's money, and he pays you your supposed profit on a Ponzi scheme. Well, we have a new word for a Ponzi scheme, and it's going to enter the vernacular today. And it's not called a Ponzi scheme anymore. You mark it down what Michael Savage said today. Obamacare is nothing more than a Pelosi scheme. It's a Pelosi scheme. Bigger than any Ponzi scheme ever pulled off in the history of the world. How does a Ponzi scheme work? Mr. Ponzi was an Italian-American. He was an investor. He took people's money and he invested it. Well, they thought he was investing it, and he produced profits for them every month. So they were thinking. He said, you made 8% interest this year. You get 1% of it on the money. So let's say you gave him $10,000. Well, he gave you a profit of $1,000 or whatever for that first month. And you thought that the other money that you put in, the $100,000 or the $10,000 you put in, was invested. It wasn't. It was in his pocket. He was spending it wildly like a drunk. So where did he get the $1,000 that he paid you that month in so-called interest? From the next person that he scammed into the Ponzi scheme. He told them that he was investing their money, but he was using their money to give the first guy or the first woman some of her profits. So they thought. That's what a classic Ponzi scheme is. That's exactly what the Pelosi scheme is. They're taking your money today, and they say that they're putting into a secure fund for tomorrow, when you know and I know it's not going into health care tomorrow. You know and I know it's going for the Louisiana Purchase. It's going for a hospital in Nebraska. It's going for things we won't even find out. You thought the bridge to nowhere in Alaska under Ted Stevens was banned, and you were right. But he was a Republican. That's why you heard about it. That's why the vermin in the media reported about it. That's why the lowlifes in the once useful Fourth Estate, who have now all become members of the Fifth Column, did not report one iota of corruption or graft in the Pelosi scheme that is being pulled on right in front of your eyes. She's pulling off the greatest Pelosi scheme in the history of the world. And the reason is because the Fourth Estate has become the Fifth Column. I'm Michael Savage. Let's have some rock and roll today. I want to hear a little rock and roll. We'll go to break. Eddie, my love. Very nice. I love you so much. And there's Hillary Clinton in Russia selling Israel down the drain while the Jews of New York cheer. You don't like what I just said? You can shove it up your meerschaum pipe.